Sam, is it you? Is this Sam Lake?
We are the cult of the tree, and we are holding Sam for a special Halloween ritual.
Oh my God, the cult of the tree! Sam!
Is that Max Payne?
Hey, really nice to be with you. It's impossible to drink coffee with this mask on, so I had to take
You could use a straw, but yeah, we prefer to see your face, Sam. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. So, Sam, first of all, you have played Max Payne, you have played Alex Casey. So, of all the characters you've played, which one are you the most fond of?
I mean, it was really, really interesting doing acting now for Alex Casey, because a lot of it was new to me. Years ago, when I loaned my likeness to Max Payne in the first game, it really was just posing in the photos. But how the technology has advanced now, performing as Alex Casey, it's motion capture, it's performance capture in front of the kind of a bank of cameras, it's doing live action, it's lip syncing to James McCaffrey's lines, a lot of new things. So as part of a process, it was really lovely, and I enjoyed it, and I learned a lot. So the most recent one with Alex Casey is close to my heart, but of course, you know, Max Payne, how the whole thing became such an iconic thing. I'm really, really proud of that as well.
You've actually also danced, so that must be new.
Yeah.
No spoilers, but there's some dancing involved.
I consider that like I'm really proud of my dancing, but there were some moments of despair along the way trying to learn the moves. It took me a few days to get there, but all the more like proud of having done it.
I'm going to translate a little for our audience. So, le he preguntado que de todos los personajes que ha interpretado Max Payne, Alex Casey, cuál es el que más cariño le tiene. Dice que cuando hizo de Max Payne realmente solamente tuvo que posar para las fotos, aunque luego todo pues, lo que se creó pues, fue una barbaridad. Pero lo más reciente que tiene es hacer de Alex Casey, que fue un proceso totalmente diferente, con motion capture, con el lip sync, incluso con un poquito de baile, que dice que eso sí que ha sido una auténtica novedad en su universo. Así que un poquito, no vamos a hacer spoilers, pero hay un poquito de baile.
Quiero que le digas que soy muy fan de él. O sea, Sam, I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
My name is Revenant. No voy a hablar en inglés porque no quieres que hable inglés.
He doesn't want to speak English. I will translate.
Max Payne 1...
Very nice to be talking with you both.
Quiero que le traslades que para mí Max Payne 1 fue el primer juego que cogí, me lo puse, me lo pasé en una tarde. La primera vez que hice eso en un juego, y por eso le tengo tanto cariño a Max Payne 1. Pero que ayer justo me pasé a Alan Wake 2, lo finalicé. Tengo muchas preguntas ahora mismo para él que no puedo hacerle, pero sí que quiero preguntarle si él cree, igual que yo, después de haber jugado a todos los juegos de Remedy y haberlos pasado todos, si es el mejor juego que ha hecho Remedy hasta ahora.
So, Revenant is a very, very big streamer in Spain. He hasn't said this, but I'm telling you for context. He's a huge streamer in Spain. And Max Payne 1 was actually the first game he started and finished in the same afternoon. He was so obsessed with it. He loved it. He has played every single Remedy game, and for him, Alan Wake 2 is the best so far. So he wants to know if, for you, Alan Wake 2 is the best game Remedy has made so far.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, having been making all of these games through the years, I'm very, very proud of all of them. But I do feel that we managed to do something really special and go beyond our previous games in some ways with Alan Wake 2 now. Just with the sheer ambition and the craziness of combining all of these genres and combining all of these different mediums together, I feel that something that I personally and we as a team have been working towards and now achieving it in a way that we have not been able to achieve it before. So yes, like I'm very, very happy with where we got with it.
Pues sí, definitivamente. Él opina que es el juego en el que han sido más ambiciosos, en el que han podido alcanzar metas a las que no podían llegar en los juegos anteriores de Remedy, así que están extremadamente orgullosos de a dónde han llegado con Alan Wake 2.
Y también parece que es donde más se han divertido haciendo un juego.
Yeah, it also looks like Alan Wake 2 is the game you have enjoyed the most making. Like, we can see you enjoying it.
Yes, I mean, these game projects are huge, and like, especially trying to be in all of these different roles in the production, directing and writing and even acting now. I'm fortunate to have wonderful team and wonderful collaborators in this. No one could do anything like this alone. But yeah, so it's hard along the way, and I honestly right now feeling very tired after being at it for multiple years. But there were so many moments where it was thrilling and a lot of fun as well.
Pues dice que es un juego enorme, es un proyecto larguísimo, llevan muchos años, ahora mismo se siente muy cansado, pero que a lo largo del proceso ha sido un equipo tan fantástico que ha habido momentos súper emocionantes y de pasárselo tremendamente bien. Y bueno, si estáis jugando al juego, sabéis perfectamente que se lo han pasado muy bien porque se les ve pasándoselo muy bien. So Remedy is known for making like adrenaline-filled action games like Max Payne, Alan Wake 1, Quantum Break. But the fact that Alan Wake 2 is more of a narrative game now, does it have to do with the maturity of the studio?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't think in any way Remedy is done with big action. But somehow it did feel to me very, very important coming back to Alan Wake, where even originally in Alan Wake, the story is at the very heart of it, because, you know, it's about the story. And very strongly felt that we need to have more ambition on the storytelling, and more than ever before, we really wanted to have this interactive storytelling merged with the gameplay. So have gameplay systems and elements like the, you know, Saga Anderson's case board and Alan Wake's plot board and all of this as part of the gameplay, so that the story is more merged with the gameplay. And really happy that we were able to push that side of it. I think that in the future, Remedy has room to do, you know, more action and more story when we go forward. So let's see. But for this one, it was crucial and very, very important.
Pues le he dicho que como en juegos anteriores de Remedy ha habido mucha más acción, si realmente el hecho de que Alan Wake 2 sea mucho más narrativo tiene que ver con la madurez del estudio. Dice que concretamente en Alan Wake era totalmente fundamental darle un peso muy grande a la historia y hacer que encajara perfectamente con el gameplay. Por eso, al haber dos historias separadas pero unidas, Saga investigando con cómo organiza el caso, las pistas, a la vez que Alan Wake organiza las tramas de su historia, esas dos partes tenían que estar perfectamente integradas con el gameplay del juego, así que ha habido que darle pues un peso muy importante a lo que es la narrativa.
Me gustaría que le preguntases que el día que él se sentó con todo el equipo suyo de Remedy y le dijo al equipo, bueno, os voy a contar la historia de Alan Wake 2. Ese día, ¿cuánta gente dijo qué? ¿Cuánta gente dijo repítelo de nuevo? ¿Y cuánta gente se fue de la sala?
Okay.
¿Podemos preguntar?
So we want to know if the first day before you started working on the game, the first time you sat down with the team and you said, so listen, this is the story of Alan Wake 2. I'm going to tell you the story. How many people raised their hands? How many people asked, what? How many people got up and left the room? How was that first impression?
Well, the thing is that like it took us over 4 years to make this game, and now it's done. And I am still getting those questions.
Mitchell, and I finished the game yesterday.
What does this mean? And like what's happening here? So yeah, I mean, it is like because this is teamwork, and especially when you go into more abstract elements on feelings and more complex things. It is a big part of directing a story-focused project is through the whole way to be there, present, and talk about it, and workshop it, and answer the questions. It's definitely early on, especially because we were early on in COVID lockdown, so a lot of it was remote, which makes it more difficult even. Yeah, it was challenging, for sure.
Pues dice que han estado más de 4 años haciendo este juego y a día de hoy le siguen haciendo preguntas respecto a la trama del juego. Y bueno, pues sí que es complicado, pero que a la vez al dirigir un proyecto con un equipo tan grande y estar ahí todos los días, pues hace que se esté hablando constantemente de estos temas con el equipo para que todo el mundo esté realmente en sintonía con el proyecto. Pero vamos, a fecha de hoy le siguen preguntando este tipo de cosas. And Sam, have you taken any ideas that were not possible before? For example, ideas that you had for Alan Wake 1, but you just couldn't implement with the technology at the time? And also, are there any mechanics that you would like to implement in future games, but you still can't right now?
Yeah, it's like games are so tied to technology, and as it goes forward, situation changes. Like even in this game, some core ideas like, Saga, the mind plays in Saga's head, and you just pressing a button and instantaneously you are in the mind place and you can operate there, and another button press and you are back in the world, and same with the writer's room for Alan Wake. That would not have been possible without a load time in between in the previous generation of machines. So, and it's a very, very core idea in this. And so very much they go hand in hand, and it's often that only once we have some opportunities that we start prototyping and exploring, those then turn into, hey, like, now we have something here, and we should explore this and lean into it. It's opportunistic in that way, and these ideas present themselves as it becomes possible. So I'm sure that as we go forward, there will be plenty of new ideas coming in because the technology suddenly allows something that wasn't possible before.
Pues le he preguntado si tuvo ideas en Alan Wake 1 que no pudo implementar y que ha implementado ahora en Alan Wake 2 por la tecnología, y lo mismo, si ahora mismo tiene ideas que aún no puede hacer realidad. Dice que los videojuegos y la tecnología van de la mano. Puedes hacer pues lo que te permite la tecnología del momento, y hay cosas que no se podían hacer en Alan Wake 1 y que son fundamentales para la segunda parte, que si lo estáis jugando, pues por ejemplo hay una cosa que es el Mind Palace, no sé cómo lo han traducido. El palacio de Saga.
El palacio mental.
El palacio mental de Saga, que es que tú estás en cualquier momento, le das un botón, inmediatamente estás en una habitación que es la mente de Saga, donde organizas las pistas, y eso es, le das un botón y ya estás ahí. En la generación anterior, en Alan Wake 1, hubieras tenido que tener un momento de carga para poder pasar a otro escenario en el que lo organizas todo.
De hecho, podemos hablar un poco de cómo usa Alan Wake 2 el mapa, por ejemplo, cómo lo hace ahora como más cerrado, más pequeño, pero muy, muy, muy detallado, se ve muy, muy bien gráficamente. Y si eso, el que se vea tan bien Alan Wake y sea tan espectacular gráficamente, porque es arrollador, o sea, porque no solo es cómo se ve, sino también los efectos que tiene. ¿Han tenido que sacrificar mucho respecto a exploración, mapa y demás para poder destacar y que eso quedase bien?
We wanted to ask you if you had to sacrifice map size to achieve such a stunning graphical look, because it's honestly overwhelming how well this world that you've created looks. So did you have to sacrifice a little bit in map size for a more cinematographic effect?
Yeah, like visuals always have been important to us in our games, and especially in this one, because like the atmosphere, it's part sound, it's part visuals, and especially in a game with the themes that Alan Wake 2 is about, it's a lot about stylization, and it's a lot about lighting the scenes. And because the detail level has grown so much these days, making the same size of a room is more work than it was already with say, our previous game, Control. It's more work to kind of like get to that fidelity level. I wouldn't say that we had to sacrifice the size because at the same time, this is by far the biggest game we have made, the longest game experience that we have created. But it is about priorities and focus, and we really wanted this to be visually striking. So from that perspective, just kind of like making all the different aspects of it click together, this was the size of a world that we could create for this game.
Pues dice que para los juegos de Remedy siempre el aspecto visual ha sido fundamental y desde luego no es que hayan tenido que sacrificar tampoco mucho porque sigue siendo el juego más grande que han hecho hasta ahora, pero claro, a medida que la tecnología avanza, por ejemplo, ahora les cuesta más hacer un aspecto tan fidedigno a la realidad que cuando hicieron Control. Hacer el mismo tamaño de habitación ahora cuesta mucho más trabajo hacerlo tan hiperrealista. Entonces realmente sí, claro, han tenido que priorizar el aspecto visual en algunos aspectos, pero aún así han hecho un mundo tremendo.
Pero en un juego que no cante, que te ponga una parte cinematográfica,
sí,
y luego te ponga en el juego y no cante,
exacto,
te digas tú, es que se ve igual prácticamente.
Sí.
Es espectacular.
Es espectacular, totalmente. And Sam, what are your cinematic or video game references in this new release? What was in your mind, like your mood board?
There are so many different things. Like obviously this is a survival horror game, so we were looking at the classics, and obviously a lot of the Resident Evil remakes are coming out, so that was definitely one kind of like thing that we were studying and looking at. Maybe then in inspiration from film and TV. Original Alan Wake was very much David Lynch's work, especially Twin Peaks and Stephen King. That's all part of this as well. But more purposefully, we were looking at kind of a modern rise of art house horror, like films like Hereditary or Midsommar, kind of folk horror, small town community and kind of this cult thing there. Then there is crime investigation in this, so you know, Coen Brothers with quirky, you know, Fargo and Silence of the Lambs, and in the dark place, that is the kind of like really dark New York, you know, all the way back to Taxi Driver, Seven for sure, you know, True Detective, the first season where there are these mystical elements as part of the crime investigation. There is just so much of it. Things that have inspired us and we've been excited about, like a lot of discussions around that going into this.
Pues le he preguntado por las referencias tanto de videojuegos como cinematográficas que ha habido para esta entrega y bueno, pues imagino que habéis entendido todas las referencias que ha dicho, porque a nivel de videojuegos, claro, se ha referido a los remakes de Resident Evil, pero luego ya a nivel literario, pues muy Stephen King, El punto de Alan Wake, muy David Lynch, Twin Peaks, la parte de la investigación, pues muy... di más referencias que ha dicho, porque tengo tantas en la cabeza. Ha dicho en el mundo del Nueva York oscuro, Seven...
Muchísimas.
Es que las habéis escuchado, esas no necesitan...
o sea, yo estaba viendo el juego y cada cosa que veía decía, Max Payne, ¿sabes? Cosas así.
El punto sobrenatural de la investigación, True Detective, Fargo...
True Detective, que también tiene mucho.
Great references, all of them. And we already saw in Control that there were connections with the Alan Wake universe, and now everything is connected to everything. So will there be more games that expand the Remedy-connected universe, the Remedyverse?
Yeah, I mean, like we are very happy where we are, and like to me, it's been kind of this long time dream of establishing something like that, and being able to do it then finally with Control, connecting the worlds of Alan Wake and Control into the same universe, and then doing the DLC digital episode for Control that was very much about Alan Wake and setting up the sequel. And from that perspective, then going big with it, kind of like in Alan Wake 2. We have further Control games in the making, and they are part of the same universe. And very much the idea is, like with our future games, to explore the possibilities of expanding the universe as well.
Pues le he preguntado por las conexiones del el Remedyverso, que al principio pues, se veían como conexión entre sus juegos, pero en Alan Wake 2 ya es que directamente ya te demuestran que todo está totalmente conectado, y si van a expandir este multiverso de Remedy, dice que sí, que están muy contentos con dónde están ahora mismo con sus videojuegos y con el universo que han creado. Les gustó mucho hacer el DLC de Control en el que ya entraba directamente Alan Wake y la secuela, y quieren seguir expandiendo, por supuesto, este universo,
pues
y
mira,
nosotros encantados.
Ahí vengo yo a hacerle una pregunta que creo que puede ser bastante buena. Yo me pasé el juego completamente en stream y, claro, yo he jugado a todo lo de Remedy, con lo cual yo veía cada cosa, estaba, ay, esto, aquello. Sí. O sea, Alex Casey vestido de Max Payne a mí me mató. Sí. Dije, ¿qué está haciendo este hombre? Pero sí que creo, como yo lo estaba streameando y veía el espectro de mucha más gente, lo que opinaban y tal, ¿no creen ellos que quizás para mucha gente ya es un pelín tarde? Que es que, claro, estamos hablando que Max Payne...
Son muchos años.
Son juegos que han pasado muchos años, que no creo que esté directamente conectado con Max Payne, pero sí que es cierto que Alex Casey se viste como Max Payne.
Y pone la cara de Max
Payne. Entonces sí que es cierto que si está un poco preocupado de que hay mucha gente que llegue tarde a este Remedyverso con Alan Wake 2.
So Remedy is telling me that he has finished Alan Wake 2 already. He played it all on stream. I'm at 50% right now, so no spoilers, please. But he enjoyed it a lot because he loves all Remedy games and he understood every single reference. Like, for example, Alex Casey was dressed like Max Payne, so for us that was like, whoa! And we saw you do the Max Payne face, so that didn't go unnoticed. Yeah!
That face.
That didn't go unnoticed for us. But he realized that some of his audience, maybe because they're really, really young or they hadn't played some of the games.
Claro, yo tenía que explicar muchas cosas.
Yeah, like he had to explain many of the references to his audience. So is it a concern of yours that part of the audience maybe like arriving too late to the story? Or is the story, as my opinion is the story so good that you can miss those little references that you leave for the die-hard fans because the game is already a great game per se?
Yeah, that was very much our thinking from the very beginning, is that it's lovely to have these connection points and build these references and kind of like on optional level pick up the threads of things that we have set up in original Alan Wake or in Control and kind of like advance in them. But the main focus, the core story of it, needs to be standalone for this specific game with these characters, because we feel that like for many reasons, from creative perspective, but also of course from business perspective as well, it does not sound like a good idea to start making something required for understanding in order to play this. And suddenly we would be kind of like making it hard for people who have not played it. So that's part of the reason why we felt that Saga Anderson's character is great for this experience, because she doesn't know anything about the established lore, and she's learning about that, and with that the player is learning as well. So we feel that every game, being a big world of its own, needs to be approachable and needs to be enjoyable, a thrill ride of its own. But at the same time, I really, really wanted to create this kind of a love letter to our returning fans, so that there is so many references to be discovered and you know, put together. It's not a must, because you do get the main playthrough and understand enough to enjoy it, I feel. But for returning fans, there is just a wealth of things to be found and put together.
Pues dice que era un tema que tenían muy en mente desde el principio, que este juego, aunque fuera parte de su universo, tenía que ser por sí solo un muy buen juego que no necesitara ninguna referencia externa para entenderlo, disfrutarlo y que fuera una gran historia, y que por eso el personaje de Saga, que es la investigadora, viene muy bien porque realmente es un personaje que entra en este universo sin tener ni idea de cómo funciona.
Va aprendiendo.
Claro, Alan Wake ya está allí, ya sabe cómo funciona el tema de las páginas, la historia, además, pero Saga no tiene ni idea, empieza a encontrar páginas, empieza a ver que lo que está ahí escrito... O sea, es un personaje que digamos que se identifica con el jugador que nunca ha entrado en este universo. Entonces han querido crear un gran juego que cualquiera pueda disfrutar, pero a la vez, por supuesto, han querido disfrutar el utilizar su lore, el dejar todas estas pistas para que la gente que las pille pues lo disfrute todavía más, pero que en sí el juego por sí solo sea entendible y sea disfrutable. Ya podrían aprender pues los de Kingdom Hearts, cosas así, ¿no? Ese tipo de sagas. Muy bien.
Vale, y por ejemplo, yo creo que esta pregunta va a ser muy interesante para mucha gente que esté jugando al juego. Por ejemplo, tú.
Por ejemplo, yo, que
Porque
voy
yo
por la
me lo he
mitad,
pasado.
no os me spoilees.
Pero, desde la perspectiva de Sun Lake, ¿qué nos puede contar de Alan Wake 2 y cuál es la llave para desentrañar toda esta historia?
So, from your perspective, from Sam Lake's perspective,
Para los jugadores,
and yeah, talking to the players, but how would you define Alan Wake 2? Which is the key to enjoy this game, to understand this game?
Well, yeah, that's quite a question. I like what we really wanted to achieve, and this goes into the ambition on interactive storytelling, is that we felt it's a key because we have Saga Anderson and her investigation in Washington, and then we have Alan Wake in the dark place, trapped there and trying to escape. And we really wanted to create something that gives a lot of power to the player to find their own way. So we begin this with Saga, and then we introduce Alan Wake in the dark place. But after that, it's opened up, and you as the player, you get to choose when do you switch back and forth. You know, if you want to play a lot further as Saga, if you want to play a lot further as Alan Wake, there is no right way. It's been purposefully built so that maybe you get a slightly different perspective into it depending on how you play, but there is no wrong way to play it. And I, you know, going into this with confidence in the sense that you can't do it the wrong way. You don't need to feel uncertain. Should I be switching now? Do they want me to switch now? We don't. Like you choose, and our aim has been to make it enjoyable whichever way.
Pues le he preguntado lo que me ha dicho Rebe, que cómo ve él, cómo explica a los jugadores cómo se entiende Alan Wake 2, cómo jugar Alan Wake 2. Dice que le han querido dar mucho protagonismo, mucho poder de decisión al jugador, porque son dos historias, la de Saga y la de Alan Wake. Primero presentan a Saga, luego presentan a Alan Wake, pero después tú decides en qué momento juegas con uno, juegas con otro, te vas al Dark Place o estás en la realidad cuando tú quieras. Y no hay un momento correcto en el que pasar a Saga o pasar a Alan Wake. Tú lo puedes hacer en el orden que tú quieras, avanzar más por un lado, avanzar más por el otro, y no tienes que estar agobiado pensando ¿por dónde querrán los diseñadores que vayan?
Yo, por ejemplo, rusé la parte de Alan Wake a tope y luego fui con Saga.
Exacto.
Estuvo muy bien, la verdad.
Entonces dice que lo que han querido es que sea disfrutable, que realmente para ellos les da absolutamente igual por qué lado avances antes, en qué orden hagas las cosas, simplemente quieren que sea lo más disfrutable posible para ti en tu forma de construir la historia y de ir viendo cada perspectiva de esta historia. So, Sam, lastly, we wanted to show you, well, this is our second season of Conexión PlayStation show in PlayStation Spain, but we had an intro for our first season that our director really wants you to see because we suspect we are part of the Remedyverse. So, this is the intro of our first season. It's a little bit...
Okay. I love this. I'm deeply in love of this. Yes.
We are the heralds of darkness.
Yes, it's wonderful. I love it. I love it. one inspiration when we were making the musical, and we had a wonderful dance choreographer making the dance moves for us. One reference that I gave her was Peacemaker, the DC superhero show.
They are screaming.
And the opening sequence there. And like, so that was like something like this.
The director is screaming right now after you said Peacemaker. That was his reference for our intro.
Yes.
Great minds think alike, Mr. Director.
Exactly. Yeah. I love you. Wonderful.
We love you too, Sam. I am enjoying your game so much. I'm still at 50%. I'm loving it. Revenant has finished it. He's in love.
The best Remedy game, actually.
It's a fantastic game. We can't recommend it enough. Thank you so much for giving us Alan Wake 2. Thank you so much, really.
Thank you.
We are enjoying it a lot, and thank you so much for being with us today. It's an honor to have the Cult of the Tree with us today. PlayStation show.